Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, doing European outlook for today's second video. So as on a Thursday, we have a look at the weather for the next week, 10 days in detail for Europe, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that first video today will 6 AM upload, and we've got a 10 to 14 day coming up for you later on this afternoon. That will include all of the regular features, of course. Please like, share, subscribe on the vids. Thanks so much everybody for doing that, and I hope you're having a lovely Thursday as well. Right, what are we doing? Turn the webcam off. Okay, right, here we go then. So current situation across Europe today, Thursday the 6th of April 2023, is that we've got a large area of high pressure sitting to the north into the northeast. There's low pressure underneath that to south of that across eastern parts of Europe, and another trough of low pressure is clearing from the UK, heading in towards the Low Countries and also Germany. Down to the southwest, we've got a ridge trying to build in from the Azores. Upper air temperatures look quite cold across Scandinavia and down into Poland in particular. A little bit milder than that further eastwards, though. We are drawing out some milder air from Russia into the Baltic Sea states, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania actually having milder easterly winds now. And then go further southwards, cold air sinking down in towards the far east and southeast part of Europe. It's relatively warm out west, though, especially down towards Spain, Portugal. Actually quite hot with the upper air temperatures there. Precipitation-wise, there's outbreaks of rain across Poland and in towards the Ukraine as well. Could be some snow mixed in with that. And we also have wet weather clearing the UK into the North Sea, into the Low Countries, and just into western parts of Germany and northeastern France. So heavy showers and thunderstorms through the eastern part of the Med. Otherwise, many areas are actually dry, especially through central, southern, and also southwestern areas, much of the Med from Spain, Portugal to Italy, dry today. Quite cold across northern and eastern parts of Europe, with the temperature today milder, or should I say even hotter, out west down towards Spain and Portugal. Temperatures there will be into the mid-20s Celsius. Right, moving on into Friday, high pressure will be taking over across northern parts of Europe and pulling wind into more of an easterly as low pressure sinks away to the south. The upper air temperatures look like that, generally quite cool, particularly across northern parts of Europe. Maybe east of Europe looks warmer, and much of the Med looking generally quite warm as well. Precipitation wise, going to be lots of dry weather with that area of high pressure across northern parts of Europe, where there will be some showers through parts of Germany and into the Ukraine as well. Further westwards, we find some heavy showers perhaps around southern parts of Germany and into Spain. Obviously, they could give some snow over alpine regions. South of that, most of the Med looking mainly dry. Those showers from the eastern Med that we have today will be pushing on towards the southern shores of the Black Sea, merging into longer spells of rain there. Temperature-wise, again, quite chilly, quite cold in the northern part of Europe. Otherwise, generally relatively mild and warm down in the far south and the southwest. High pressure dominates into the East weekend. This is Saturday, so high pressure won't really control across much of Europe. Upper temperatures, again, nothing to get excited about. Looking about average, a little bit on the cool side for northern parts of Europe in particular. There will be further showers across parts of southern Germany and into countries like Austria, Hungary, and then extending down in towards the Balkans as well. Around the Adriatic, there'll be further showers through there. Some heavy showers could break out through parts of Italy. Reasonable exceptions to the rule, though. Many northern, central, western parts of Europe looking dry actually on Saturday. A little bit milder as well across UK and into France. Actually looking very pleasant, getting into the teens Celsius. Will be colder than that further northwards. Warmest temperatures again, southern France, Spain, Portugal, and into the Mediterranean. High pressure remains in control of sea across much of northern Europe as we go through into Sunday, but low pressure is trying to head in from off the Atlantic. Temperatures generally looking a little bit on the cool side for northern parts of Europe, turning milder though out west, especially through Spain and Portugal. It looks quite hot down there, doesn't it, with those upper air temperatures, heat beginning to build through inland parts of Spain. Precipitation-wise, there'll be heavy showers over on the eastern side of Europe, extending down from the Baltic Sea states in towards Greece and Turkey. West of that, lots of dry weather until we get this band of wet windy weather heading in towards Ireland and western Scotland on Easter Sunday afternoon. And temperature-wise, looks very pleasant up the western side of Europe. I think it's the temperature into mid to possibly upper 20s Celsius, through much of France and Low Countries into western Germany Mild and pleasant through the UK and Ireland as well. Hot down towards southern central parts of Spain and Portugal. Still quite cold across Scandinavia. And then these eastern parts of Europe, generally quite pleasant really in many areas. But it will be a bit colder. That's down towards the southeastern corner. That's Monday, so low pressure then breaking through from off the Atlantic into northern and western parts of Europe. High pressure in the northeast beginning to retreat away back into Russia. So the upper air temperatures relatively pleasant in much of central and western, southwestern Europe. A little bit cooler though further northwards. Wet and windy weather clearing the UK and Ireland, heading in towards Norway and Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, probably Denmark and also Western Germany by the end of Monday afternoon. North of that, going to be quite a bit dry weather through much of Scandinavia, northeastern Europe, showers in this east and southeast part of Europe, and then many western, southwestern regions looking mostly dry as well. Temperature-wise, cold across the far north, generally though quite mild actually, the mild temperatures that we have in the west of Europe on Sunday will be pushing eastwards into Germany and probably on into Poland as we get through into Monday. It's still looking relatively hot down towards Spain and Portugal as well. Westerly winds dominate with low pressure into Tuesday across northern Europe. High pressure reaching into the southwestern part of Europe. That keeps hot air in place across Spain and Portugal. Meanwhile, further northwards, so actually looks a little bit cooler with winds coming in from off the Atlantic for northern and western parts of Europe, with the mild upper air temperatures being squeezed over towards the eastern side of Europe. Quite a lot of rain around on Tuesday as well. Wet weather pushing in from the Atlantic into much of northern Europe, the southern part of Europe, especially through the central part and back Spain, Portugal. Looks most dry. There could be some showers through parts of Greece and Turkey. Temperature-wise, a little bit cooler actually for UK, Ireland, Low Countries, Germany and Denmark. Colder than that over Scandinavian Peninsula. And the warmest temperature being pushed over onto the eastern and southeastern side of Europe and, of course, down in the Mediterranean. Deep area of low pressure sweeping in from off the Atlantic when we get through into Wednesday. Look at this, a large dartboard low sitting right over the UK and Ireland by that time. That's going to shake things up for northern and western parts of Europe. Temperature-wise, looks hot through eastern parts of Spain, Portugal, and that heat beginning to extend into central bowl of bed as well. But north and west of that, looking quite cool with those upper air temperatures. Very wet and windy as well through the UK, through Ireland, into France, north, just into the far north of Spain, and that wet weather sweeping towards the Low Countries and also Germany, probably Denmark, southern Sweden and Norway included in that later on Wednesday as well. North of that, there could be some wintry showers through parts of central Norway and Sweden, and perhaps extending over toward the Baltic Sea states. Mix of rain, so possible through there. Eastern parts of Europe, again, mix of rain, maybe a little bit of sleet, so mixing over higher ground, but much of southern Europe looking mostly dry, so the Mediterranean not faring too badly. Temperature-wise, it looks quite cold in the north and west Europe, certainly quite cool in the north and west of Europe, wet and windy, mildest temperatures, warmest temperatures again down across southern and southwestern parts of Europe. That area of low pressure transferring into the southern part of Scandinavia when we get through into Thursday. High pressure trying to ridge up from the Azores into the southwestern part of Europe. The warmth is draining out of Spain and Portugal and being pushed over in towards the central bowl of the Med and towards Italy and actually into the Balkans and eastern, southeastern parts of Europe. Meanwhile, further north of that, looks generally quite cool, I think. Although not especially cold, but generally quite cool, and quite a lot of wet and windy weather in the north and the west of Europe as well. And we see some heavy showers and thunderstorms beginning to break out through parts of Spain and also into southern parts of France as well when we get through to Thursday, with rain, sleet and snow across northern Italy and into those alpine regions, and further showers, longer spells of rain, possibly sleet and snow mixed in across the far north and the northeast of Europe. Temperature-wise, we look like this, so quite cold across Scandinavia, otherwise near normal in many areas. Spring light down across the south and the eastern part of Europe, warm into the central part of the Med, cooler for the UK and Ireland. Just run on to day 10, so that's Friday next week. More low pressure comes in from off the Atlantic, and that's basically the setup right the way through to the 16th of April, day 10, with more low pressure heading in to much of northern and western Europe. The driest, warmest weather will continue to be down in the south and the southwestern part of Europe, with the reach from the Azores high. Okay, so that's your European outlook for this week. Going to be quite an unsettled week to come, especially when we get into next week, actually looking rather wet and windy, particularly in the north and the west of Europe. But temperatures shouldn't be too bad, especially early on. Right, we're going to be back later on with your Data Vaulting Day. That will include all of the regular features. Come back to that later for this week's European Outlook. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.